This is a financial reporting section on the top left, which shows you the IFRS 16 compliant lease disclosures for all the leases that you have. And it also shows you separately for lessee and for the lessor. When it comes to this top navigation bar, first of all, we have the selection of our right entity. So if you have multiple entities in your group, you can simply input the entity details, and based on that, every lease would be allocated with that entity. So if I change the entity, you can see that the disclosures have changed, and this entity only has leases as a lessor, it does not have leases as a lessee. You can provide different users, different access. So if you want to see what kind of access would your users get, and depending on what role they have, we have an admin role, manager role, preparer, reviewer, viewer, and payments role. And so if we add a user, we can decide which entity we are giving access to and which role we are giving access to that person. And so that's how we can add more users to our lease accounting module. So you can add your whole finance team if you like, depending on what role you want to give it. And then let's go deep into one specific lease. So let's see how a lease looks like. So I want you to look at the main tabs here. We have amortization schedule. This is where you see all the scheduled entries. We have journal entries. And as you remember, we selected quarter two. Quarter ended May 31st, right? And so it will show monthly entries for March, April, and May because we chose monthly. We choose combined there. And we have a modifications tab. We have a lease details tab, and we have a monthly ledger tab. So monthly ledger shows all the monthly movement for all the leases, including the lease liability, the right of use asset, and also any gain or loss. The coolest part and the most exciting part that I want to show you here is basically the modifications. So in the modifications, this is closely aligned with the IFRS 16 requirements. So first of all, we have the modification types, which means based on IFRS 16, what kinds of modifications are there? So let's say we now have a scope decrease modification, and the scope decrease from the rental decrease from 4,000 to 2,000, and let's say the percentage of scope decreased to 60%. So if you apply these changes and apply the modification, we can see that the modification has been applied. It says that the lease liability has been reduced from 31,000 to 18,000, and right of use asset has been reduced from 35,000 to 14,000, right? Because it's 50% decrease. But if you look at the amortization schedule, even though the modification effective date is a random date, it has added a modification adjustment row in the schedule, and it's shown that the lease liability has decreased from 31,000 to 18,000, and so there's a difference in the lease right of use asset as well. But as you can see that the schedule is amortizing accurately to the residual value guarantee,